Well, Tristan L. writes, "Hey, Collider crew, I have a question about Alfred Hitchcock's films, The Birds. It's my favorite Hitchcock film and heard some years ago that there were going to be a remake starring Naomi Watts. The last I heard, though, was Michael Bay's Platinum Dunes was going to produce it with Diederik Van Rooijen to direct the remake. Do you know if this is true and if there will be a remake? Thanks, and bring on the filthy."
First of all, full kudos to you for writing in about Alfred Hitchcock. Birds is not my favorite Hitchcock film, but it is certainly one of his masterpieces. I love The Birds. Here's the thing. The last I heard on this, okay, this is going back to about January of this year, there was a report in Variety about this exact story, that Naomi Watts was still circling the film, that Michael Bay's Platinum Dunes was going to produce it. And there would be a time when, if I heard Michael Bay's Platinum Dunes was going to be producing, I would be like jumping overboard. But after watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that he produced and I really liked it, it's like, I'll give it a go if he's producing something. I don't think I'd see a Michael Bay directed Birds remake, but you got Naomi Watts on board, I'd be all for it. That being said, it's been dead silent ever since January. I haven't heard any new news about it since January. It's still listed as being on the burner, but no movement has happened on it. So whether or not this project is still happening, I don't know. But I will say this. I would be interested. I'm not jumping up and down about it, but I would definitely be interested in this film if it were to come to pass. Have you heard anything about this, Christian? What do you think?
I haven't heard anything since the initial report, but Escape from New York, yes. Roadhouse, yes. Stay away from the birds. Sorry. Especially, like, even going off your point as far as Platinum Dunes did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, very different films.
Not
yes,
the birds.
absolutely.
If someone was going to remake, if Platinum Dunes was going to remake Jaws, no thanks. I don't want them touching the birds. The Birds is a classic horror film, and it's to have an entire movie without a score. It has no musical score because it doesn't need it. It's terrifying all on its own. They tried to do a remake with Psycho, didn't work, and that Gus Van Sant did it. Right? Terrible. Stay away from Hitchcock. That's just a no-no.
Well, the Van Sant one was like more of an experiment because it was a shot for shot.
Still released.
It was
in the
kind of
theater.
like just remaking shot for shot exactly what Hitchcock did.
Yeah.
So I can't say that was like it was a weird experiment, but. My problem with the remake of The Birds, I think, yeah, they should remake The Birds. But Diederik Van Rooijen, I looked at his IMDb because I'd never heard of him, and he's like, I just don't know what it is. Gasklink, Verdict, Drum Wimvels, like a whole bunch of films.
Very prolific German director.
Yes, a lot of German. Fubel, Spawn, Spulis, Scrimps. There's a lot of them. He's like, I don't know what they mean. I'm going to look into it.
It means direct to Blu-ray.
But right, the Swan Swingle Skrink. But actually, it made me say, I'm going to actually check out 2 of these films. I'm going to look for whichever ones are available on one of the streaming services, and then if I have to rent it, I will, because I want to see why did they pick this guy to do The Birds. There's got to be a reason. They didn't just do the random, like, pick a German, but this guy's direct. It tastes like birds. You know what I mean? It's like there has to be a reason that he's doing it. So especially someone like, it's like, why Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds? What you can do with birds now, aside from Birdemic, I'm not talking about stuff like that. I'm talking about like what you can do. Like imagine a scene with like 1 billion birds in the sky. It's like Night of the Living Dead with birds. They never gave you a
CGI
reason.
fest.
Well, look at it like what they could actually do with like puppets and birds. It's like what they could do back then in the 60s. It's terrifying.
Right. Do you trust Michael Bay's company to not over CGI it and to use puppets? Because I don't.
Have no idea.
I mean,
it's hard to tell.
Look, the last Planet of the Apes movie was a CGI fest. But it was brilliant. Now, granted, that wasn't Michael Bay's Dune.
But they shot in real, yeah.
You know, so I mean, it really depends. But I think maybe this is totally culturally stereotyping, and I shouldn't do this. But there's something in me that feels pretty cool about a Birds remake by an auteur German director. I don't know why.
That's
that
what
just
I'm
seems
saying.
to strike me
It's
really
a
good.
weird choice. I want to look into this guy's filmography and see what because obviously they hired him for a reason. It's not just like, oh, that's that horror guy or this dude or an American director that we've heard of. It's someone we've never heard of. There's got to be a reason there. So, I mean, it could be cool. They could have an angle.
So you know what scares me about that is that, remember Oliver Hirschbiegel, who directed Downfall? It's another German director. Right. Really good director. And Downfall blew people away. They brought him on to do Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh, right. They had to take it away and have the Wachowskis redirect it.
It was horrible.